found the perfect spot to record this video. The water right behind me. We got all the high-rise, the buildings right behind me, all the lights, and also I got those high-rise buildings in front of me. So the message is going to be flowing the way that it should be flowing. The purpose of today was for me to live as my future self for the day. Not just for the day, but from now on, I've decided that I'm going to live my everyday, day-to-day life as my future self 5 years from now. You know, basically the main point of this being that, and you might be asking, why am I in Brickell? I'm in Brickell, Miami right now. Why am I in Brickell? Why am I by the water? Why am I by all those buildings? It's because I plan on moving here sometime soon. I plan on getting an apartment by the water, maybe like, you know, one of those floors up, specifically looking at the water, and when I wake up in the morning to see the water. And the reason why I am basically from now on living as my future self is because the current self, yes, my current self is in a high frequency. Yes, it's putting in the work. Yes, I'm doing everything that I need to do now. But at the same time, the current self can still come up short. The mindset that you need to be in, of the things that you need to do, the steps you need to take. At the same time, if you are living as your future self already, if you are living from now on as your future self, because that is the main point of when you speak about the law of attraction. The law of attraction is actually becoming that person before you actually become that person. Is actually living your life the way that your future self 5 years from now, 10 years from now should be living. I've been walking around Brickell since, what time is it now? It's about 8:45 p.m. now, and I've been here since maybe like 2 hours ago. I've been just walking around, you know, listening to the car sounds, because Brickell, Miami, bro, is the best spot that can actually inspire you. Because look, what better spot is this? Look at all of those high-rise apartments. I got like, I'm sitting here, all of those apartments behind me, or even across from the water, you know, all of those on my right, on my left, in front of me. You know, exactly the life that I want is all around me. So what is the best next thing to do is actually start living that way, like your life is already that way. Because if you structure your life in that way, then your current self has no power to, let's say, stop you or have no say when it comes to do that work or to put in that work. So basically, yeah, let me come out here so you guys can see, and I'm also going to turn the camera around. So let me turn the camera around. You guys can see all of those, you know, like all of those up here, right? On my right by the water, exactly by the water. The best thing to really do is to perform like your future self and outperform your current self. And actually by living in your present like it's your future self, like it's you 5 years from now, when it's time for you to about to make a decision, what you have to ask yourself is, how would my future self go about this decision? Or would my future self make that certain decision? Or would my future self not count my macros? Would my future self not stay disciplined when it comes to my trading? Would my future self overtrade? Would my future self take that trade that I know I should not be taking, that is outside of my plan? Would my future self not get in the top physique, not get in the best body possible? When you living your present as your future self is really the best way that can get you to do those things without you getting in your head, without you overthinking about it, that, or without you even debating about what you have to do. Because you know you have to plan your day to day, because that's what your future self would do. That's what living a winning lifestyle would be like. That in a structured way, in a way that when you have to do something, you don't debate about it, you just get to it immediately. So that is the main point of this, what I'm doing at the moment, is from now on, from this day forward, I have decided whenever it comes to making a decision, whenever it comes to doing anything, is to use the law of attraction. And when using the law of attraction is to basically living like myself 5 years from now, living like I am already where I need to be, living like I am already in the apartment that I need to be, living like I'm already living on the water, living like this is already my life, living like I'm already successful, living like my business is already successful, living like my trading is already successful. And at this point, that's the way that I can be in the best possible state of mind for me to get those wins, in the best possible state of mind for me to go to that specific steps, to go on those steps in order to get those wins, to stack those wins as ladders that is going to get me there. And when it's time, when you start living your present as your future self, when you live your actual current life as if it's yourself 5 years from now, as if you're already in that place where you want to be at, only then, when it comes to you currently putting in that work, when it comes to you doing what you need to do, staying disciplined and going about doing the right stuff that is going to put you there 5 years from now, and that is the only way you are actually going to be doing that without a debate, without a feeling like, oh, without even getting comfortable. Let's say that, without even getting comfortable. Because here's the thing we do in our entrepreneurial life, right? So when we get a little bit of momentum going, and as soon as that little bit of momentum start to go, we start getting comfortable, we start getting lazy. I will take an example as on myself. Me, I'm the example, because you know, this is me recording the video. When it comes to YouTube, correct, I spent 2 months without posting any video, without touching my camera. This is my first video literally in 2 months. Why? Because the momentum was starting to go, I got comfortable, and next thing I know, the momentum went away, and now I am back, well, to zero, you can say, because now I have to get that momentum back going over again, right? And if I had kept on posting for those 2 months, you didn't know where you was going to be, right? I don't know where my YouTube channel was going to be now on if I had posted those 2 months, correct? If I was living as my future self, if I was living as myself 5 years from now, you think I am going to put up my contents for 2 months 5 years from now? Do you think you're going to put up, when you have to put out those videos, you know, you have to put it out for yourself to let the people know, or to try to help somebody to either grow your brand? It's actually put your business out there to the people, to the right people that it needs to get to. Do you think you are going to put off 2 months and not do that? You're not, right? It's your present self that is still very much vulnerable to those mistakes. We all still vulnerable to mistakes because we are humans. But at the same time, you living as yourself in 5 years, you never gonna catch up to that person. Let's be honest. 5 years from now, 5 years go by, let's say I become successful, I'm still going to be living the same way as myself in the next 5 years, as the same in the next 5 years, as the same in the next 5 years, as this. Or if you decide to do it, you will do it in the next 10 years or in the next 5 years as your future self, meaning that it's still room for you to improve. You do not have the comfort for you to get comfortable, because you are chasing you in the next 5 years, you're chasing yourself in the next 10 years, and you can imagine yourself how or where you are in the next 5 to 10 years. You are going to perform based on that character. You are going to perform based on that life, because you in 5 years, unless you don't have any goals where to get to at all, unless you don't have any plan of, or you don't see yourself higher, being better, in a better place where you are currently in the next 5 years, unless you don't see yourself growing in the next 5 years, then that's the only way you're gonna be comfortable. If you know yourself in the next 5 years is completely a more better, huge person, a more very much successful person with a successful business, with a successful career, with a successful life, traveling the world with time freedom, the freedom to do whatever you want in the world, to afford whatever it is that you want in the world, or you're going to be putting those things off, or you're going to be getting comfortable when it comes to putting in for this work, when it comes to putting in those reps, when it comes to doing that work, or you're going to be getting comfortable, right? So that is basically what the whole purpose of the idea is, to live in my current state as myself in the next 5 years. And also, those are the benefits of doing that, but also think this has a lot of cons to it also. Say a lot of the pros, but also as the cons, because as your current self, you won't be able to enjoy your current situation. You won't be able to enjoy the current, you know, let's say people you have around you, or the current opportunities that are around you, or the current life that you're living, or this right now. You might be watching this video and say, you like the view, you know, you're getting inspired by this view, and so, you know, it's so beautiful behind me, and the water is right there, and it's so peaceful, right? You might be so motivated by this, and you might think that I'm not. Well, I am. And you might think that I'm thinking futuristically and I am not enjoying the current moment. Well, you can say that when you've made it. You can say that when you have a successful business. Even when you have a successful business, you're not gonna say that, because you know what got you there. The worst thing, and when you get there, the worst thing you can do is to stop doing the things that got you there in the first place. The main things that got you there, the main habits, the non-negotiable habits, say the main things, the main mindset that got you in that same place where you've wanted to be 5 years ago, and then now 5 years forward, you are in that exact moment that you've dreamed of all your life. You are in that exact moment that you've been thinking about. The worst thing you can do is to get comfortable and stop doing those things that got you there in the first place. Because then, now what? What about the next 5 years? You don't have any more goal for the next 5 years? Is there not any room for you to grow? Is there not any more room? Or you just satisfied with what you got? Or you just okay with what you are? Or you, let's say you make your million, you make that $1 million, you actually become a millionaire, right? Because that is what we all striving for. That is why we all doing it for, you know, elevating ourselves, getting in the best mindset possible, getting in the best body possible. That is the main reason, to just to become better. And at the same time, the best thing you can do, let me say this, don't think I say this as if like that is all it's about, making $1 million, making $1 million, making $1 million. It's not about making the $1 million, but that is the main reason why we started in the first place, for freedom, right? For financial freedom, time freedom, location freedom. But at the same time, as you go on in the process, as you go on the journey, then you realize there are greater things than just focusing on the money. There are better things to focus on than just focusing on the money itself, because you focusing on the money, you focusing on the outcome, you focusing on that external thing is not enough to get you there. It's not enough to make you follow these steps to get you in the right mindset in order for you to get there. Because if you're chasing money, you're never gonna get it. As you realize that on the journey, as you realize that in the process, you realize there are more important things than just chasing the money, then and only then, those things that you know you need to do, those things you gravitate towards them more than just thinking about the money, right? So I say all this just because, you know, I mentioned the main purpose was to make $1 million. Yes, it's why we started in the first place. Well, not just $1 million, is to be financially free. Yes, it's why we started in the first place, but it's not the main vision, it's not the main goal. Your main vision, your main goal should be you, right? Your main goal, your main vision to focus on should be elevating you. It's you who can get that. It's your mindset. It's building you, building that man, and that is when you're going to be taking the right steps. Because when you build you, when you have elevated yourself to that level, when you have elevated yourself, or when you're seeing yourself to that level, when you know you're putting in the work, that amount of money that you started for in the first place, it's really not a big deal to you anymore, because you've already see yourself that way. You're already feeling like you already have that same amount of success, that why you started in the first place, because of the way that you're living, because of the amount of work that you're putting in, because of the mindset that you're in, or the frequency that you're in. You already feel like, and you know, you are sure that you are going to get there. You don't know when, if it's going to be tomorrow or next after tomorrow, but you know you're going to get there. So at the same time, that same feeling you had of excitement of actually chasing when you first started is basically not there anymore. So that's why you focus on greater things. You understand that you have to focus on better things other than just focusing on that amount of success of why you started in the first place. Building you is the best thing you actually can do. Building your mindset, building your habits, and actually living the best life possible while you're doing this is actually the best thing you can do for yourself, because that is the only way you're actually going to get there. Detaching yourself from that amount of success, detaching yourself from that amount of money, that is the only way you're going to get there. And when you start focusing on your habits, on your non-negotiable habits, on waking up early, on getting in the top physique, the best body possible, when you start focusing on counting your macros, when you start focusing on taking those steps, on building up your brand, on building up yourself, instead of actually focusing on that outside goal, you think your future self in 5 years would be focusing on, would be so attached to the next $1 million, let's say, or would be so attached to the next level of success, next level financially? You think that is the only thing your future self would be focused on? No, definitely not. That's why it's so great to be around people who are already in that same spot that you want to be at. That's why it's so great to have mentors. It's so great to have your environment who are already in that same spot, who are already financially free, who are already multi-millionaires, who already achieved the success that you're trying to achieve. Because those people, what they teach you is this. And I can guarantee you, you 5 years from now, I can guarantee you, me 5 years from now, right now is, I'm recording this video on July 31st, 2025, right? And right now is 9:03 p.m. Summer, July 2025. I am recording this video. And I can promise you, when I look back on this video 5 years from now, I am going to be keeping the same mindset. I'm going to be saying the same thing that I'm telling you guys right now, because I have learned it from people who are already there. I have learned it from people who already achieved that same amount of success. I have learned it from people who already achieved that more times than they can count of, you know, who have already become that much successful more time they can even count of. And they tell you the same thing: the success, this external goal, does not matter more than you. It cannot get you there. Just thinking about it, being obsessed with it, will not get you there. And what you should work on is actually yourself. It's actually your mind, because your mind will get you there. It's actually you internally, because it's you who will get there. Because that amount of success, that amount of, you know, money is not what your value is tied to. Your value is tied to how you live, the way you live your everyday life, what you think about yourself, and actually when it comes to doing the work, do you do it or do you put it off? That's what your value is based on. But at the same time, that is the reason why I decide to live in the future from now on. I decide to live as, well, not to live in the future. I decided to live as my future self from now on. Because every decision, when it comes to every decision that I have to make, I have to actually ask myself, what would my future self do in this situation? What action would my future self take in this very moment? And that's also what you have to ask yourself. I'm sure a lot of you guys have watched this video many times over on, you know, social medias, but it's chasing yourself for the next 10 years. Even if you know you're not gonna be that guy, even if you know you're never gonna catch that guy that is you in the next 10 years, but it just keep you as someone who just keep on chasing and not getting comfortable. You just keep on chasing, you just keep on waking up and jumping out of bed every single day to chase that you person for the next 10 years or for on the next 5 years, because you know your current self currently is very much vulnerable and not able to operate in that frequency that you need to be operated in order to get there. And the best thing you can do is to actually live as if you're already there. Live as if you're already successful. And that's what the law of attraction is. You outperforming your current self, focusing on your future self for the next 5 to 10 years is what is going to help you to actually outperform your current self. Alright guys, so here I decided to bring the end of the video here so you guys can see where I was. You guys saw the water and everything, but these also are the big high-rise buildings here in Brickell. So I decided instead to make the end of the video by the high-rise apartment buildings. Hopefully you guys learn from this video. Hopefully you guys can try the same idea. It's a very good idea, very great idea, guys, you know. And also hopefully you guys learn from this video. And this is going to be the end of the video. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will bring you guys more value and more content like this. Let me know if you guys want me to actually come here more and record more content in Brickell and record more videos here in Brickell, because these apartment buildings, bro, these by themselves are pure motivation. Guys, look at the height of those buildings, bro. Who wouldn't want to live on top of those buildings, bro? Like on almost the highest. But this is where I end the video, guys. I will see you guys. My car is actually parked right here in this parking lot, and I will see you guys in the next video. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you guys want me to bring more content like this, and I will see you guys in the next video.